Shalom. Kol halalim Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Now, as we're approaching more of a digital world, and we are going towards the complete collapse of society, okay, I was just came across a couple of websites. This article is dated from, it's published January the 16th, 2024. Okay. And WEF, World Economic Forum, accelerating digital inclusion for 1 billion people by 2025. Okay. So they are trying methods to so-called, let's just say, catch people that may live in remote places where they don't have internet, where they've not even yet seen a person of another nation. Other Hamitic type tribes or Japhetic type tribes, I guess, as well as other people that just live remotely, in general, because the world is a very big place. So, because, how they're going to enslave the whole world, or at least try to enslave the whole world if they can't get everyone. And these are one of the ways that they're trying to. I mean, the second website is going to cover every area regarding the digital aspect, the benefits of it, and it's talking about the RF to the I to the D as well. Okay. 6-minute listen.
COVID-19 has exposed digital inequities globally and exacerbated the digital divide. 37% of the world does not use the internet. With more basic services moving online and the pandemic highlighting affordability challenges in wealthier nations, these deep digital gaps are intensifying inequality and preventing the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So, how does a cross-sector alliance help with digital inclusion? The impact. During the Davos Agenda 2021, the World Economic Forum launched the Edison Alliance, a global movement of leaders from the public and private sectors who are prioritizing digital inclusion as foundational to the achievement of the SDGs. The alliance.
All these people that come together, it's like Psalms 83, trying to cut Jacob from being a nation. Ultimately, all these things are being done to enslave the whole world, but they mainly want to enslave the children of Israel. Ultimately, they want to get rid of them, because the existence of the children of Israel, messes up the plan for Esau's extended rulership that they want to, they want to keep going. They've come to the finishing line. You can't keep, can't keep running no more, criminal. Esau's that, criminal on the run. He's come to the finishing line of his rulership, and he wants to keep running. You got to stop now. You got to hang up the gloves. Let me just, I'm going to play the rest of the article as well. Impact of prioritizing digital inclusion. The C19 demic dramatically accelerated digitization worldwide. It dramatically accelerated it. Okay. Okay. Because what this does is the digital world is a world of less human touch, human communication. Everything's very cold. The love of many shall wax cold, right? Paraphrasing the scripture there. Everything's just, there's that, what's that thing? There's that customer service is not there no more. How it used to be. Eye contact, if you're doing face-to-face sales or whatever, making sure that you smile, you answer the phone, you smile, all that kind of thing. That's all out the window. Everything's just like, everything's digital where that connection isn't there. So with the C19 thing, right, they don't want people to, to go here, to go there. You can't touch this, you can't touch that. So you had to move and get things done without being physical. And with the C19, that got accelerated even faster, right? And yeah, the C19 pandemic dramatically accelerated digitization worldwide. Access to digital technologies allowed people to carry on with their lives. So if there's another demic, okay, they can go even say to fifth or sixth gear, and and take it to the level where they actually want to take it to, which is a charagma, okay? Because when the next demic happens, and then then along with that, uh, at some point, the financial crash as well, you know, and all these things that they're promoting regarding going digital in terms of reaching people that are unreachable, the health side, monitoring people, commerce, you know, and every other and all the other positives that they're going to try and push, having a seamless lifestyle and all that kind of thing. Everything that they're going to push, I'm going to show you a website in a second what they're trying to push. And every time, they're going to try and make everything seamless, right? And they're going to try and push all of these things to accentuate or push the positives of taking the RF to the I to the D when that's actually introduced. Right now, people are getting used to it. They're like getting hooked in. They're like using the Apple Pay and constantly looking at their phones. If they can't put their phone down, they can't put their phone down. If they're watching TV, they can't put their phone down. I can understand you're answering messages, you're at work, that's different. But if it's downtime or whatever, put your phone down. They're getting you used to that. People that have that mindset of while you can still pay with cash, that's the best way to be. If you can still pay with cash for certain things, obviously, or use your debit card. A lot of people, are really getting invested into the whole um, uh, modernization or digitization of the world. All the latest tech that's out there, they're getting involved. All the latest stuff that they're getting. So when these things keep moving from one level to the next, and then the RFI to the D is introduced to put into your body, they're going to take it willingly, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, the ones that are bucking up against this all this tech type of world are old school people. That like carrying money and having a money clip and still like paying with cash. And I see a lot of people doing that. They're like having wads of cash in them. They like to feel that money in their hand. What they think is money anyway. The fiat currency. And so there's going to be a lot of people taking it, and there's going to be people against it, and people that actually will bend, and then they've got the elect that won't bend. Okay, because the elect, every time their back is against the wall, Yahweh Shemashah is going to deliver them. Because many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashah delivereth them out of them all. Paraphrasing scripture there. All right. Okay. Access to digital technologies allowed people to carry on with their lives, but the health crisis also exacerbated existing inequalities for the 2.6 billion people who remain unconnected to the internet. See, now they're saying that people are suffering that are not connected to the internet. People that are sort of like, as they're saying, living off the grid. There's people out there in this world that actually still live and exist like they did, I don't know, 1,000 years ago to a certain degree. There's actually people like that out there. They want to get all of them. Because they can't have no renegades. If they want to imprison the whole planet, put everybody in prison, how can they have some renegades running around? They want everyone on lockdown. The World Economic Forum's Edison Alliance is a global movement of leaders from across industries and governments. All the bankers and all that, the elites, and all the underlings and servants that wear them ties around their neck, them rods around their neck. Is a global movement of leaders from across industries and governments who are prioritizing digital inclusion to bring millions of people online so that they can access critical services in healthcare, finance, and education. And these are very critical. Your health is wealth. Finance, you don't work, you don't eat, right? Roof over your head. Education, people want to be optimistic and you give their children education so little Tommy can be, captain of the fire station or whatever. I don't know. Or little Tommy can be, um, have dreams of being a CEO one day or being a sports writer, which ain't gonna happen because this world don't have long left. So, what is the challenge? Yeah, so almost what is the challenge? Although most people in the world live in areas covered by a broadband network, 33% of the global population, right, 2.6 billion people remains offline and left behind. Okay, so look at the terms they're using as well, like left behind. Well, you know what? So when people read left behind, remains offline and left behind. Why would they use the term left behind? You could just finish the sentence that remains offline. Then had to chuck it and left behind. When people read that left behind shit, they're gonna start visioning that movie with Nicolas Cage, where people start disappearing, you know, so-called rapture, you know, and people are thinking, okay, the rapture was saving people, and the people that were left behind were left in hell in a world of turmoil, no food, no water, everything's just crazy, right? And in this case, people are going to look at it this way. Okay, uh, they don't want to be left behind. They want to be going with the world in terms of so they can function, have their lives back to normal. So they don't want to be left behind. So they're going to take the RF to the I to the D. You know. Okay, this is due to persisting barriers to connectivity, affordability of data and devices, the lack of necessary digital skills, and a lack of access to digital infrastructure and skills. So now they're saying, okay, lack of connectivity and people that don't know how to use it aren't skillful enough to use tech. So they're going to try and make everything easier. Okay, they're going to start giving them tools, the world tools to make life easier, more seamless. People are complaining about time. They're going to have some time thrown back in their day or whatever, right? Financial issues. They're just luring you in with that carrot. You know, you know. And once they lure you in with that carrot, somebody pounces on you and puts a bag over your head. That's what they're ultimately trying to do. Let's just play the article.
This fosters collaboration and cross-sector action to enhance the case for digital investment so that everyone can affordably participate in the digital economy. The vision is to improve 1 billion lives globally through affordable and accessible digital solutions in health, finance and education by 2025. What is the challenge? The COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically accelerated the digitization of economies and societies. Access to digital technologies has allowed us to continue to work, learn and live, but the global health crisis has exposed existing gaps and inequalities for the 2.9 billion people who are not using the internet. Although most of the world's population lives in areas covered by a broadband network, only 2/3 are online. Cost, not coverage, is the barrier to connectivity. In low-income countries, home to 650 million people, mobile broadband is 18 times more expensive than in developed countries as a proportion of average income. Even in the most advanced nations, affordable usage of broadband remains a challenge. COVID-19 has brought a newfound sense of urgency for digital inclusion. Having access to affordable digital services is no longer a luxury but a necessity. Leaders from industry and government are pushing this complex and urgent challenge to the forefront of the World Economic Forum's agenda because no one sector can address this challenge on its own. All sectors of the economy need to be mobilized. Our approach to digital inclusion. The Edison Alliance is the first global mobilization of industry and public sector leaders, bringing actors from the telecoms and broader ICT industry together with members of healthcare, financial services, education, and investors to lead the way into the digital infrastructure of the 21st century. The 3 pillars for digital inclusion. Through the 1 Billion Lives Challenge, the Alliance is harnessing public commitments from governments, companies, and other organizations globally to accelerate the delivery of digital services for unserved and underserved populations. 1/3 of the Alliance has already made commitments to enhance digital inclusion. MasterCard has brought 500 million previously unbanked people into the financial system. As part of the 1 Billion Lives Challenge, it is doubling down on its original commitment to bring another 500 million people into the digital economy by 2025. In India, Apollo Hospitals has provided telehealth programs for 16.5 million people. Its commitment to the 1 Billion Lives Challenge is to achieve an additional 20 million service delivery by 2024. Ericsson has pledged to positively impact 1 million children and youths by 2025 by providing access to digital learning.
Something just stuck out to me. I've never heard this usually in the digital world, because there's usually a term why people are using, for example, screening technology. You know, what they call it. Um, Companies that sell companies like MyTech. What's the company's name? The people that sell screening technology, that want to uh, avoid certain criminal rogue people. Man, what's that technology called? Man, I forgot. Let me find a company so the term comes out. MyTech Systems. Fraud prevention. That's it. It's fraud prevention. Um, Anti-fraud software, screen technology, and biometrics. That's it. Identity verification. That's it. That's what I was referring to. Okay. Biometrics. Yeah. So that term, right? Okay. Here, when the lady was, the AI voice was speaking. All right. Where's that? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, damn! I go past it. The AI voice said they're going to bring actors. So I've never heard that term before, referring to people that are from certain industries. They're going to bring actors. Here we go. Our approach to improving digital inclusion. The Edison Alliance is a global mobilization of private and public sector leaders bringing actors from the telecoms and broader ICT industry together with members of healthcare, financial services, education, investors to foster digital inclusion. Actors, right now, when you hear people that are doing a pitch, right, selling you biometrics and ID verification, within their pitch they say to avoid bad actors. So basically, to avoid criminals that are pretending to be somebody else. So companies can buy ID verification software and biometrics type software to screen people so they get the right people that they're doing business with, you know, or whatever kind of business they have. All right. I've never heard of let's get the definition of actor first. So, because sometimes Esau likes to chuck in the real truth in the articles that they think that, not many people are going to read, in some website that's not so popular. Definition of actors. Person whose profession is acting on the stage, in films, or on television. A participant in an action or process. Employees are key actors within industrial relations. Okay, a participant in an action or process. Okay, so there's a second meaning to it. Okay. Meaning, it could mean that, or they actually could literally mean actors. Literally people that are acting. Which they're all acting. Ultimately, how Bashir Shah is controlling them, making them act. But And even these newscasters are actors, man, failed actors. They got a job there just to fool the world and pretend to be journalists and all that shit. All right. Isaiah 36 and 6. Go there. Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. You know? And this is going to lead to more some people trusting heavily in Egypt. Yeah? I mean, look at all the hell that Israelites have gone through, and then you got a good portion of our people that still trust in the heathen, man. Still trust the so-called white man. So they're gonna get pierced in their hand. And obviously, even the so-called white man, um, whose life is still going well, even these heathens, their life is going well. They got no issues. They're still going to trust in Trump because nothing's affecting them. The way they see it is, Trump is getting rid of people, that are brown. And these crackers are gonna say, "Oh yeah, get rid of all of them," because it's not affecting them yet. But when it starts affecting them, then they're gonna start saying, "Oh yeah, we don't want Trump no more," you know. So people are gonna trust in the process. They can actually use that term, trust the process. You know, a lot of people will take the charagma, man, because remember one thing: a lot of people aren't Israelites, so they don't have that better tomorrow coming. You know, so they're gonna want that feeling of optimism. They're gonna want that feeling of a future, normalcy, fun, holidays, baseball games, basketball games, proms, Peggy Sue can go to the prom, dates, Friday night dates, going to the movies on a Friday night. They want that feeling back again, you know. They want to be around the tree saying fa la 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 and all that, with a wine in their hand, wearing their Christmas sweaters. They want all that back, but they're not going to get that back. They want that back. To have all that back and all these enticements, they're going to be coming to them, and they're going to want life so-called normal. They want the happiness back, right? They want that old America back. They're going to take the charagma, man. They're going to take that CHI to the P, man. Let's go to this one. Let's check this company out as well, called Value Track Technology Solutions, right? Look at the industries they cover. Okay, Value Track. It's in the name. Covering healthcare, transportation, logistics, retail, food and beverage, hospitality, education, energy utilities, government, life sciences, warehousing and distribution, manufacturing, right? Which equates to what? The balance of the economy, right? And they're providing solutions within that area. That's what they got. Tracking systems, RF to the I to the D, tracking systems, warehouse management, cybersecurity, smart manufacturing, artificial intelligence, business enterprise, inventory, data management, etc., supply chain, right? And it's all going to be under different types of tracking systems. All right. Okay. And then the picture they have, it looks like she's scanning his wrist or something. I don't know, but it looks like that, doesn't it? They could have put any image. They could have put any image there. They could have used a doctor using a stethoscope. Something old school. They're probably just checking the temperature, but it's still that the image is just that that like like they're scanning your wrist, right? So you got to understand, Esau doesn't do anything accidental, man. All right, even pictures, man. They have like they talk about it in the offices. Oh, which picture shall we do? Which one will sort of like normalize someone sticking their hand out? You know, deliver quality care when it matters most. All right. What's all this? This Here's the article that I was initially reading. Okay, let's go to the main page. Okay, here we go. Technology solutions for performance-driven organizations. ValueTrack's team of technology experts works closely with you and your organization to understand your unique goals, offer insights or best practices. Okay. An RFID tracking system is a wireless non-contact use of radio frequency waves to transfer data using tags, readers, and antennas to automatically identify and track inventory and assets. Okay, RFID offers massive upside when it comes to providing businesses with efficient and accurate tracking of items throughout the various stages of a process, such as manufacturing, inventory management, or supply chain logistics. Okay, they're going to try and push that technology in every aspect of when it comes to commerce. Okay, because ultimately they want it to be an all-rounder, meaning an all-rounder where you've got the CHIP in your hand or whatever it is, or you might have numerous covering, I don't know, one, you could have one for paying for goods and services, one for opening your car, you know, or one for opening your front door. I don't know. They might program it all into one where you could pay one will be for your health. They could track if you go to hospital. One will be to like pay for goods and services. You're going on the bus, you scan your hand or wrist or whatever. You know, and that same one you use to open your front door of your house, your car door. That's how they want it to be. There's a reason why some of these futuristic cartoons they used to make back in the day, the characters never had no pockets. Remember Back to the Future? It showed Marty. What was the fashion in the future? People were wearing their trousers with their pockets turned inside out because they didn't need a pocket because they had nothing to carry. You know, I believe if you see the movie when they're paying for stuff, I think they use their thumbprints. Well, they had cash, but it wasn't. They still used, like I think it was when Biff was on come out the taxi and he went to Marty McFly's neighborhood. He paid with his thumb, right? But they did have futuristic currency as well. But see, they've been pushing that since the 80s. I mean, even before that. Okay, the powers in the name. Value track. Okay, they've got technology to track various parts, of the industry. All right, all different types of tech to streamline things. Okay, and it's all about tracking, tracking, tracking. Okay, and the companies like this, are gonna, get involved a lot when it comes to this, man. You know, where those orders start rolling in, and people are gonna get involved and say, okay, yeah, let's provide X amount of CHIPs for which whoever's asking for it. Just thinking out loud. Yeah, the big one's gonna be when the financial crash. No money, no honey. What's gonna happen then? People are gonna take the CHIP. Then everything's centered around money, right? Okay. How do companies work with money, right? Digitization, money, financial crash, possibly more demics. Okay, people want to carry on with their lives. Financial crash. They're gonna have to take the CHIP. People still want to do the whatever kind of commerce or business they want to do. They want to still hold on to whatever they have. People will take it because that's going to be the new way to pay for goods and services. All right, all right. That's why I probably call this video "Accelerating Digital Inclusion 2025." Okay. All the signs are out there, but Yahweh Shemashah will speed this thing up, man. We want to see where the world is by, so let's just say even August 2025. The world could be, in a very different place, where we can see, that the Lord is just around the corner, man, because we want this kingdom to fall ASAP. Let's go to Revelation 13:16. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, and rich and poor, free and bond. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? You won't be able to buy or sell without it because physical money is going to be out the window. Aren't they getting rid of large denominations of money around the world? Aren't they saying, oh, yeah, that money could be could give you a disease? Oh, you got to get rid of physical money. Aren't they talking about it costs a lot more to make lower denominations of coins in America? When they're saying that, I forget which coin it was, but they were saying that it costs X amount to make this specific coin, and it costs more to make that coin, and then that the coin is worth. An example: if a coin is like let's just say there's a 10 cents coin, it takes 15 cents to make that 10 cents coin, for example. That's what they're saying. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. How you gonna buy or sell? How you gonna pay for stuff? How you gonna sell stuff? You're gonna have to take something. There's got to be some kind of, and that's where it's going. All right. First of all, you've got the base of everything, which is the digitization, and digitization. All right, everything's just on the computer screen. Right. Financial crash. Everything's digital anyway, and they're going to introduce digital currency. And then you have to use the RF to the I to the D. Or they might use something else in between that. I don't know how they're going to do it. But I think more than likely endemic and financial crash, and maybe to avoid fraud factors and criminals and things like that. So they're going to more than likely try and push the charagma to take the charagma. So if that's the only way you can pay for stuff, people will take it, man. Because people want to hold on to what they have. They're like Lot's wife. They want to go back to how it used to be. And for the heathen, that's obviously the appropriate thought, because they don't have no good future. The so-called white man does not have a good future. Okay, only the Israelites do. The elect first and foremost. In the spirit power of Yahweh Shemashai. Okay. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And the number is 603 score and 6, which is 666, man. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Shemashai.